Hey there, I'm Ganesh from learnenglishlab.com and I'm back today with another advanced grammar lesson for you. And the topic of this lesson is using may have and might have to express past possibility. Okay? Now, you should know that may and might are interchangeable, meaning you can use whichever one you want because they have the same meaning. And it's the same for may have and might have, except, of course, in questions. When we make questions, we generally use might more often than we use may. Okay? All right, let's look at some examples, and we'll talk about the meaning and the form of these. Number one is, I may have left the front door open. So imagine I go to a friend's place, and I walk in the door, and I suddenly think, hey, did I lock the front door of my house? My friend comes running and he says, hey, welcome, can I get you a drink? And I say to him, hey, I might have to go back. My friend says, why? You just got here. Why do you have to go back? And I might say, I may have left the front door open. Meaning, I'm guessing about the past. I'm not sure. My front door might be locked, or it might not be locked. But I'm guessing that I did not lock the front door. So I may have left the front door open. Of course, you can also say I might have left the front door open. Now, in this sentence, notice the form of this structure. You have may or might. And I'm going to put not in brackets because not is optional. It can be may or might not as well. Plus you have, and this cannot change. There's no have, has business because it's always only may have or might have. No may has or might has. That's wrong. Okay? So may have or might have. And then you have this past participle verb. Remember, a past participle verb is the third form of a verb. So you might have, you might say go, went, gone. Gone is the third form, the past participle form. Present, past participle, and that's what we're using over here. Okay, so may, have, and past participle of leave is left. I may have left the front door open. Number two, Melissa might not have seen you. I would say this to a friend, like if a friend says to me, hey, Melissa just walked past me, didn't even say hi. She just completely ignored me. What's the problem? Is she angry with me or something? And I might tell my friend, Melissa might not have seen you, meaning if she had seen you, she would have said hi, but I'm guessing that Melissa did not see this friend. So, Melissa might not have seen you. Again, we're using this not over here, after might. May or might, interchangeable. Number three, he may have been lying. This form is slightly different because it has an ing form. And here we're guessing about a continuous action in the past. Okay? This can be any verb. It can be sleeping. Okay? He may have been sleeping. I'm guessing about what someone was doing, a continuous action at a certain time in the past. And this form is slightly different because you have may or might, and of course you can have not, but you've got have, but you always also have been. And this also does not change. It is fixed. And after that, you have a verb in the ing form. This is a fixed form. May or might, not being optional, and then have been, and then verb in the ing form. The difference between these is this is used to talk about one single action in the past, a finished action, and we're making a guess about a finished action in the past, And here we're guessing about a continuous action in the past. Okay? Right, you will notice here that I have a sentence somewhat separated from all of these. And that's because I wanted to show you another form that's related to these, but that's also slightly different from all of these. Have a look at the sentence. You might have to wait for an hour to see the doctor. When you first look at it, it looks kind of similar to the others. But if you look at it carefully, this is not a sentence that talks about past possibility. It talks about future possibility. So imagine I call my doctor's office and the receptionist answers the phone. And I tell her, hey, I'm not feeling very well. Could I come and see the doctor now? Now the receptionist might look at the people waiting in the room. There's a lot of people waiting in the room. And she might tell me, you can come, but you might have to wait for an hour to see the doctor. Okay, now why is this not talking about past possibility? The reason is because this sentence uses might and then it uses have to and not have. This is completely different from these sentences. Okay? Now have to, remember, talks about necessity, something being necessary. So in this sentence, she is saying that if I come to the doctor's office, it might be necessary or it might not be necessary. She doesn't know, she's guessing. But she's saying you might have to wait for an hour to see the doctor. Okay, so this has the form of may or might plus have to instead of have. So in this form, it's may or might not plus have to. And then what form is this in, this wait over here? Well, it's actually in its base form or in its present form. Okay, a verb in the present. That's important to remember. Okay, so we've looked at positive sentences with may or might have. We've looked at negative sentences as well, but how do you form questions to make guesses about the past? Well, it's very simple. If you watched my lesson on may and might, you know that the easiest way to make questions with may and might is to simply add do you think? Okay, you take that off. So in this sentence, I'm going to change this to you just to make it more realistic. So take a look at it. Do you think you may have left the front door open? So someone might ask me, hey, do you think you may have left the front door open? And I might say, maybe I did. I have to go back now. Okay. You can turn all of these into questions simply by using do you think? Okay. I'll change this to me, just to keep it interesting. Do you think Melissa might not have seen me? Yeah, it's possible. Maybe Melissa didn't see you. Do you think he may have been lying? I believed him when he told me that he won $1 million in the lottery. But now that I think about it, do you think he may have been lying? I think he was lying. And here as well, let's change this to I. This is a question I might ask the receptionist of the hospital. Hey, do you think I might have to wait to see the doctor? Not for an hour, just wait. Hey, do you think I might have to wait to see the doctor, or can I go in straight away? And she might reply, I think you might have to wait for an hour to see the doctor. Okay? All right. Now let's move on, and I'm going to give you a test to see if you can use these correctly. All right, on the screen, I have some practice sentences, and I'd like you to rewrite these sentences using may have or might have. If you need, pause the video for a moment, think about your answers to these, and then play the video again. All right, let's now talk about the answers. Number 1, perhaps you've called the wrong number. To change this sentence, it's really easy. You first take the subject from the original sentence, which is you. So you, and then you choose either may or might. I'm going to say may, and then have. The past participle of the verb in the original sentence, call, is called. So perhaps you've called the wrong number becomes you may have called the wrong number. Number 2, maybe Christina didn't want to talk to him. This sentence is in the negative, so you use may not or might not. I'm going to use might not. Christina might not have wanted to talk to him. Right, this next sentence is a little tricky because it's a question and it's in the continuous form, so it's a little challenging for you. Is it possible that he was working out? Now, to make a question, use do you think. So, do you think he, and now we're going to use the structure have been and verb plus ing after may or might. So, do you think he may have been working out? The last sentence is, I think we will need to wear a special suit to enter the laboratory. Notice here that you have to. So this sentence becomes, we may have to wear a special suit to enter the laboratory. I hope you got all of them right. Keep practicing. Remember to subscribe this channel by clicking the subscribe button below. We've got lots of new lessons coming, and I'll see you in another video.